Hello, my friend. In this video, we're going to be going over 4 different scenarios in which you're going to need to be troubleshooting your Facebook ads when you're trying to run Facebook and Instagram ads to grow your streams and your followers and all that kind of stuff on Spotify. And these are common issues that might come up, why they're coming up, and how you can deal with them most importantly. We're going to be starting from the more boring stuff. So the first is when you are noticing that your account isn't spending money, you launch some ads and they're actually not spending money. A bit rare, but it can happen. The second thing we'll be going over is when your account is spending money, but you're not seeing any clicks or conversions on those ads. Then we'll be moving over a little bit more into where you might be seeing clicks and conversions on your ads, but you're not seeing any streams on Spotify. That's kind of the most important one that we'll be talking about. And then fourth is a small tip on if you are seeing clicks and conversions and you're seeing follows maybe on a Spotify playlist, but you're not seeing streams, I do have a tip on how you can troubleshoot that as well. So we'll go into these in a little bit more detail. And I should mention that these tips this whole clip actually is going to be from a live workshop that I did on Facebook ads. If you'd like to learn about any future workshops that I might be doing, you're going to want to head over to the link in the description and grab my 7-step Spotify release checklist. It's free to download, and it'll also allow you to join my mailing list, where you'll be able to hear about these live workshops, where we're also having live Q&As at the end of them, so you can ask any questions and get those questions answered, and also any other tips that I'm dropping throughout the day and the week and all that kind of stuff as well. So enough rambling. Let's jump into these 4 troubleshooting scenarios and how you can conquer them when you're trying to run Facebook ads for Spotify. So when it comes to troubleshooting, the first thing that might happen is that your ads are not spending. This one's super boring to talk about, so I'm going to go through it quickly. But generally what it is there's an account issue. You might have a disapproved ad, like a credit card decline, something like that. You're just going to want to go in. There'll probably be some kind of like red symbol there, and you're going to want to take care of that. Another thing is that the audience size might be too small. So if you're trying to say like people that listen to artist A and also B and listen on Spotify and like trying to drill it down too much, Facebook might not be able to run the ads. So you want to make sure that you have nice big audiences. You might have a low quality ad or landing page experience. So the ad might look terrible or the music link might be completely different from what the ad was looking like. So they might be clicking it and moving completely off. And those are the general things you're going to look at there. This one is very, very important. So you might be spending money and not getting any clicks or conversions on Facebook. And the main thing here is it can be an account setup issue, but more on the side of the pixel might not be set up correctly. So you're going to want to run some tests on the pixel using the event testing tool. And it might not be properly linked to the Spotify button. So you're going to want to use the event testing tool inside of the events manager of the ads manager account to just make sure that everything's working correctly. And then this has happened before, so it can happen here, but you might have the wrong URL on the actual ad, so that could be a problem as well. Usually this is just super basic stuff, but you want to make sure that you go over it. If you've been running ads successfully in the past, this is probably something that's not going to happen to you. But you also could have a potential low quality ad or user experience. So again, this might look like you made some ad that didn't look that great. Things are all cut off and cropped and looking weird, maybe on different formats. And then I think one of the biggest things would be that user experience that we were talking about. And the user experience really is that fan journey. So making sure that when they move from the ad to the link to your Spotify, everything makes them feel like they're in the right place. They don't feel like they're being cheated or it's some kind of weird scam. It's always kind of a risk clicking on ads. So people are always that's kind of always going through their heads, giving them a reason like I should stop this and do what's more comfortable, which is just to go back to Facebook and keep scrolling. So you want to make sure that you have a nice fan journey that respects their time and the experience. And then, which is essentially this. So the song or the imagery might be different across the fan journey. In terms of getting clicks and conversions, but no streams, this is a huge one. And the main tip here is it's a 3-step process. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into the ads manager and you're going to want to break it down by country. So over on the right, if you look at the number 1, there's that it's supposed to be a little drill down kind of breakdown icon. You click on that, then hover over delivery and select country. And then what this is going to do is this is going to allow you to look for the potential offender. So once you set that up inside of your campaign, it will then list all of the different countries that you're running your ad to, and it'll show you how many content views, how many people are clicking on the Spotify button for each country. And so generally what you're going to see here is one country is just completely dominating. And this is generally why I recommend being very careful when you're experimenting with running ads to all sorts of different countries, because you might get a lot of clicks on Facebook like this, but then not a lot of streams. So the main thing you're going to do is look for the potential offender, someone who might be getting a whole ton of clicks over here of the content views, and you want to cross-reference it in the Spotify for Artists dashboard. So you can go over to that song, and you can go over to the top countries for that song in the Spotify for Artists dashboard, and you want to see some kind of correlation of the numbers that you're seeing in Facebook with the numbers that you're seeing in Spotify for Artists. So in this example, this song got 400 of those Spotify clicks, but only 124 streams from that country on Spotify. So it's not terrible. That's like maybe like 10% are moving over. It's on the lower end. We want to see something like 30 to 60% are moving over. So this means that in this example, I could have been spending my money in better areas. What you want to mostly look for is, say you're seeing 400 content views on Mexico, and then over on Spotify for Artists, you're seeing 0 from Mexico. That means you're only hitting bots, and what you're going to want to do is duplicate that ad set and remove Mexico as targeting, and then run it like that and see how things go. And this is kind of one of the biggest things I would say when it comes to troubleshooting, and even to an extent optimizing, getting into the habit of checking what you're seeing in Facebook and then cross-referencing as best you can in a Spotify for Artists dashboard to make sure that what you're doing on Facebook is turning into streams. So whether it's you're having an issue of there not being enough streams, and you want to make sure that you're not targeting a bad country or anything like that, you want to do that. And then same thing if you add a new test, like say you introduce a new country as a new test, you want to make sure that the new country is actually turning into streams too. So this is a really good idea to get into the habit of this as you're checking your ads and all that. Look at the data you're seeing in Facebook and always cross-reference it with a Spotify for Artists dashboard, because the numbers that we're seeing in Spotify are always more important than the numbers we're seeing over in Facebook. So I think that's super important. And then lastly, something that you might run into is that you're getting playlist followers on your Spotify playlist campaign, but you're not seeing any streams. And this is something kind of annoying, but it is what it is. You're going to want to make sure that your playlist is actually public and showing up on your personal, whichever account that you actually made to create the playlist. So what you'll need to do is, if it's not, just go over to that playlist, double click it, make sure it's public, and then make sure that you press add to profile. And this will allow you to make sure that it's actually showing there. And then you can, over a couple days, check that you're seeing streams in the Spotify for Artists dashboard to confirm that everything's working. I think it's kind of like a privacy thing. If it's not shown added to profile, Facebook might want to protect, Spotify might want to protect the user's privacy, and that's why it won't show up. So that's another important thing there. Hello again, my friend. Hopefully that gave you some good perspective on how you can kind of handle some of these common troubleshooting issues that might come up when you are running Facebook and Instagram ads to grow your numbers on Spotify. And like I mentioned at the beginning, if you want to dive a little bit deeper, hear about more of these workshops, and get that 7-step Spotify release checklist, there'll be a link to that in the description below. You'll get the 7-step release checklist, which is what I follow every single time that I'm releasing music, so that I'm only doing the 7 important steps instead of 259 steps. So I'm respecting my time and my money, and also dropping as much music as possible and having it dropped in the most effective way as possible. I think that's important, and checking that out will be awesome for you. I know it will. And other than that, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you did. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video, my friend. Have a good one.